welcome to another episode of Steelman's Takes. I am your host, Steelman, and today we're going to go over the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, the new and approved offensive line, and man, Pittsburgh seriously has made some moves. So I know in my last video I talked about the draft and the process that the Pittsburgh Steelers did, the process that they took, and they drafted Broderick Jones. Now I think that, like I said, I really thought they should have gone after a cornerback, but they went after Broderick Jones, and after looking into it a little bit further, I think it was the right move, and I know a lot of people think so as well. So let's kind of jump into it a little bit. So the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Broderick Jones, but they also signed and drafted Spencer Anderson, Trevor Downing. So they drafted Spencer Anderson, and then they signed Trevor Downing as undrafted. So I don't know if these guys are going to stick. Spencer Anderson was in the seventh round. Trevor Downing, like I said, he's undrafted. So I don't know if they'll stick, but Pittsburgh went out and got him. They went out and got him. But in the offseason, they went out and they got LaRaven Clark, Isaac Seumalo, Nate Herbig. So Pittsburgh not only made a very big move in the draft, but they made a huge move in free agency. So it's just been an exciting offseason, one that Pittsburgh Steelers fans are not used to, but it has been an amazing offseason. And me personally, I have loved getting and watching and seeing what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's kind of jump into it. So Isaac Seumalo. Why I think Isaac Seumalo is just going to be a huge addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers as a guard. So you have Mason Cole, and then you got Isaac Seumalo, and then you got Broderick Jones on the left side, and then you got Mason Cole again as center, and then you got James Daniels, and then you got Chuck Okorafor. So Pittsburgh's offensive line is really setting up to be a great offensive line. Like seriously, like push it down your throat, pound out the run, drag out games. They are just going to tear it apart. So Isaac Seumalo actually started all 17 games for the Eagles last year. Played in the Super Bowl. Okay, I mean, he did really good. He supported an offense that had a franchise record 57 scrimmage touchdowns. It's crazy. That's really good. So he's a great guard. Like, he is just going to seriously pound. They're going to be able to block very well for Najee Harris. And if I'm Najee Harris, I'm the happiest guy in the league right now, because Pittsburgh seriously went and set him up to have a breakout year. So you have these guys, you got these big tough guys right there in that front line. The Pittsburgh Steelers seriously, they revamped like everything. They seriously just started. They almost like they started over. But man, are they seriously making some moves. So you got those guys on the offensive line, and they are going to seriously make a big difference in our offense. Last year, before all these additions and with a Matt Canada run offense, which that isn't going to change this year, which could be our downfall. But last year, we ranked 22nd in the league. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't block. We allowed 40 sacks, and 6 of them, we allowed 6 in each game against the Saints and the Eagles. That's not very good. That is not good at all. 4 sacks, that equals out to about 2.5 sacks a game. So, and to top it all off, Najee Harris couldn't get through. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry. He carried a lot. He carried a lot to get those 1,000 yards. Those are some bullish runs. We saw some of the stiff arms that he did. Man, he still managed to get over 1,000 yards. But man, how awesome would it be for him to not have to work so hard to get those runs, to get that yardage? And what Pittsburgh did in free agency and with the draft, they set him up to have a breakout year. And I am really thinking that Pittsburgh is just, Najee Harris is going to have his breakout year. But towards the end of the season last year, we were first in time of possession. So we held the ball longer than any other team in the league. We were third in yards per drive. We were 8th in scoring percentage. We did struggle on drives, but if you look at it, it equals out to the average of the league average for. And a lot of us Steeler fans watched the Steelers last year, and we were like, man, just freaking score, just get in the end zone. But for whatever reason, they just couldn't finish out drives sometimes, and we saw that against the Ravens. We lost it by 2 points. It didn't help that Mitch Trubisky threw 3 interceptions when we freaking needed it. That didn't help at all. But we couldn't get it near the end zone. We couldn't get into the end zone. So I think Pittsburgh seriously went out, addressed the needs, they addressed what they needed to, and our offense is going to look totally different next year. This team is going to run the ball down your throats. They are going to control the game. They are going to have the ball longer than any other team. And Kenny Pickett, man. Kenny Pickett. I'm on the Pickett train all day. I love Kenny Pickett. I don't give a crap about his stats. I don't give a crap about that stuff. If you look at what he did at the end of the season last year, the dude came through clutch. When we needed him most, Kenny Pickett went down and scored a touchdown. And I'll take that any day. I don't care about stats. And most of his stats came before the bye week anyway. When he's starting, he's still a rookie, hasn't even played a full season yet. You can't expect much from the guy. But watching how he ended the season last year, oh man, I expect big things this year. I'm looking forward to this season. So Kenny is going to finish out those games, and they will control the game time-wise. So look at our offense. We got Deontay Johnson. Now, Deontay Johnson, I mean, we wish we could have got some draft capital for him. The guy run back 5 yards every time he catches the ball. That's the only thing I got against him. Like, he can catch the ball. He has had drops in the past, but every receiver does. But the thing is, like, you can't give Deontay Johnson the ball if you need a first down, because he's going to fall back 5 yards. He's going to lose yardage on every play. Like, every time he does that. It's so annoying. But then you got George Pickens, and then we had with the additions of Darnell Washington, and then we also have Calvin Austin that didn't play last year. Top wide receiver in speed-wise, I think, and Pat Freiermuth. So we are stacked, I think, when it comes to our offense with our receivers. And then, I mean, look at it. We got Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris. We've got Jaylen Warren. These guys are seriously, if they mesh together, they are going to have an amazing season. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, and this is another video, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go, I'll say 11-7 or 11-6. I'll say 11-6. I think that Pittsburgh is going to have a pretty decent season, much better than last year. So I mean, let's see what Pittsburgh does. So I'm excited about next season. But I really think that Kenny Pickett or Najee Harris is seriously, he's going to have his breakout season. He's just going to light it up next year. AFC teams, NFC teams, watch out. NFL, Najee Harris, he's going to have the most yardage out of any running back next year. I hope so anyway. So let's see what he does. Let's see what the Pittsburgh Steelers do. Again, thank you for joining. Thank you for listening to Steelman's Takes. Please subscribe, hit that like button, share my channel. Let's get out there. Let's just enjoy talking about the Steelers. I love it. I love it. I love talking about the Steelers. I love talking smack on the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals. But let's go out there and kill it. Pittsburgh is just going to crush the league this year. I think they're going to surprise everybody. And the biggest reason is the offensive line and the new addition in Darnell Washington, who are tight end, and Broderick Jones. He's a big beast. Let's go. Let's knock these guys out of the way, and let's freaking get a Super Bowl. Stairway to 7, baby.